Hello everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and today I got something really special to share with you guys. I have been blessed because I am one of very few people out there that can share this freaking thing right here. A lot of you guys, this is going to be your first time seeing this. But if you do keep up with the show media like SHOT Show or other things, let's go Blade Show as well, you recognize that this is a concept knife, right? But not just any concept knife. This is actually designed by my good friend Steven Dunnick. He is actually the designer of the very popular Loki right here. This is the second iteration of the Loki. It has the updated blade hole, and I think that was probably the only update. But this was the knife that got me to start buying Concept knives again. Because Concept was a company that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth a couple years back. I took a chance on this thing, and well before even knowing the guy, I bought this on a super sale. I picked it up because I couldn't resist it for the price I got it for. I gave it an honest review, and I love the damn thing. If you guys are longtime viewers of the channel, you know that I'm a jackass. I'm a really picky person, and I'm hard to please. This thing checks off so many damn boxes for me. It has no right to be as good as it is. This is just such a wonderful knife. If you know, you know. This is a sick knife. And I actually got confirmation from him that there will be different variations of that knife coming up, whether it's XL versions or budget variations. Stay tuned because there's more coming from this guy. And this is something else that is coming from him as well. This is still in the prototype phase, of course. There will be this very, very robust Americanized Tanto, I suppose you can call it. Just a chunk of a freaking blade right here. This thing is meant for war. This thing will do damage for sure. And there's also a beautiful drop point variation. When or where these will come out, I don't know, and I don't care. All I know is that I will be buying a drop point variation because I think it's an incredible piece, even in its prototype phase. Now, as you can see, this doesn't have a pocket clip, and this may not be available with a pocket clip. It could be a pocket slip or something of the sorts, but there's still a lot of things up in the air about this particular design right here. And as you can see, this thing could be very dangerous. It's called the Hazard for a reason. And so let me just walk you through this thing. So you have this little lever here that's just kind of, dangly doing its thing. And if you press it down a little bit, it holds just from surface tension and a little bit of friction. Hardened steel on hardened steel faces right there. You see it right there down in the middle. So once that's out of the way, there's this large lobe that sticks out and allows for the blade to swing out. It's running on bearings, of course. I think washers could be absolutely appropriate as well for this, but Concept is known for doing the hardened steel washers with the race cut into it for their proprietary bearings. So it's a little difficult to want to put aftermarket stuff like skiffs. I have seen some people flip the hardened steel washers around to the full flat side, but the tolerances and the spacing, it's not exact. So you typically have to run the knife with the factory pivot setup as is. So maybe we'll see a change in that in the future. I don't know, but I think that this design, the blade overall having as much mass as it does and as much size as it does, washers could be something that's really fun, and washers break in beautifully. But this has bearings as is right now. That can change, that can stay the same, I don't know. But when that lobe is out, it allows for the blade to swing out, and at this point there is a positive click locking this thing in place, and the solidity of this is damn near unmatched by anything else that is remotely similar to how this thing operates. This is not challenging the Scorpion Lock or anything by Demco. I don't know how this thing stacks up, and I am most definitely not the person to be challenging that because I don't have the setup to do those kinds of tests. But I will say, for the feel and the solidity in hand, for how flippy dippy this damn thing is, and this is meant to do twists and twirls and like, you know, like do a bunch of kind of stuff. I don't know how to do that stuff yet, but I will be practicing. And I'll see if I can pull a clip from Steven's Instagram to add it here in the video somewhere. So you guys can see, you know, the master himself flipping this thing around. It's such a badass thing. And the thing is that I'm not a balisong boy. I don't care for the flippy dippy kind of stuff. I like just open and close, bearings and washers. You know, I'm pretty vanilla when it comes to it. I know a lot of you guys are as well. But there's just something about this thing that really blends both kinds of people in the hobby and their what they can be excited about, and puts it together into what is a pretty sick knife here. You have an enlarged, very large, super roomy finger choil, forward grip, whatever you want to call it, sharpening choil as well. That's something that I'm really big on as well, is that if I have a knife and I love it, I'm gonna want to use it. I'm gonna want to sharpen it a bunch too, and I want to be able to comfortably sharpen it. This thing has so much room to sharpen away all of this material. Full straight little, you know, the secondary edge right there. I'm not a huge fan of Tanto blade shape, but I will say that this is a very, very robust, attractive looking blade shape, and I think a lot of people can get behind this thing. The drop point, as I mentioned prior, that's more my cup of tea, more my speed. That's something that I would actually use and fidget with, of course. And it's constructed in the same manner, so I'd be able to sharpen it really easy. The blade material on this prototype, I believe it's printed right there. It says K110 4T1. It's probably just K110, which is essentially like D2. So I mean, hey, at least it's real blade material for a prototype here. And full slabs. There are pockets of weight relieving in the titanium, but this thing is still very dense. We can go ahead and take the weight on this. Sorry about the camera here. Yeah, this thing's chunky. This thing's big, and again, remember, it's lacking a pocket clip at the moment, so it could definitely go up in weight. Almost 6 ounces, 5.9. This is a chunky thing. Now, there are a couple things that we'll go over in just a sec. Well, we can start at this point, essentially. Let's do some size comparisons. This is a large knife. This is what I would consider to be a full-size knife. So let's stack it up against some full-size knives. Here is a Sencut Knives Glide Strike. If you know, you know. This is a wonderful, wonderful full-size plus budget knife. Has a good bit of length on it, but not by much. So that's a big boy for sure. Let's do Sebenza 31 right here. Pretty close. Sebenza is a little bit longer, not by much. Spyderco Manix 2 lightweight. It is pretty close, damn near the same tip to tail. This is the Predator by CMB Made Knives. It is shorter than the Hazard actually, so it's somewhere between these two right here. Last we'll do the Vision FG. Vision FG is shorter than the Hazard. So hopefully those, however many knives that was, help you get a good visual representation of what this thing is all about. But this thing is chunky. It's blocky, but everything is very softened, very well rounded over. And you know, a lot of things could change when it comes to this design. The studs, they could be dropped potentially. I did mention to him it would be really cool to have a textured space up here. And funny enough, when I said that, I think that same month, Concept Knives debuted a handful of knife designs that had milling either on the cutting bevel or, you know, the actual the secondary cutting edge, or this is the secondary cutting edge, I don't know, not the live edge, but over here they had some milling, very beautiful looking milling down here. And if they can do that there, they can do it up here. There's also another blade design that had little cuts running along the flat of the blade. That's surface texture, that's something. And I think it would be really cool if there was a little pad on each side of a knurled texture that was milled into the blade to do, you know, a drop kind of deployment like that. I think that that's really fun. If this was something that was in a pocket slip or something, I think that if, you know, that is a way to deploy it. So I'm just messing around with this thing and just showing it off as much as I can. I mean, that's gonna be my goal with this, just to share this thing and promote it as much as possible, just to get more eyes on this, because I don't think really anybody else has shown this off besides, you know, the designer himself on Instagram. There are maybe 1 or 2 other prototypes out there that were sold by the company. I even got to handle a different variation of this. It was bronze with black hardware and a black PVD tumbled blade. Good looking knife, real good looking knife. If you go see my my content that I did of CCKS, California Custom Knife Show 2025, you'll see that that's where I meet Steven for the first time, and he shows me his prototype, and I just lose my mind over it, and I just turn into a little fangirl, essentially. So I think that this is really cool, and it's coming from a really cool guy as well. Like, he's just super chill, laid back. He's not like, when some people think about knife designers, they just think sometimes of like, oh, some snobby jackass that just thinks that they're better than other people. That's not the case here. This is, I mean, this is a really sweet dude that created something that is just out of freaking nowhere, just completely different than your day-to-day, you know, titanium frame lock folder. This is something special, and I think that a lot of people need to see this thing. So I will be sharing updates. This is not mine, but I will be customizing it, so you guys will see some content of me doing stuff and probably twirling it around. I'll probably do some sharpening, because I think maybe I've only ever done like 1 video of me sharpening a Tanto blade shape, and I think it would be fun to do that. And it would also raise the stakes once I go to sharpen this thing and then I start practicing flipping it around. Like, I really got to pay attention to what I'm doing, because I could lose a finger. With my edges, I'll lose a finger. So, and with how much freaking mass there is and how like free floating that blade is, it's just, I mean, it's called the Hazard for a reason. It's just, this is about as cool as I can do with it. I pinch it with the bar back here. There's these little milled out, like lengthy little pill shapes that are milled out, and I just kind of flick it back. Like, I hold it and it opens, and that's the extent of badassery that I can implement with this thing at the moment. But I will be practicing over my grass in the backyard, messing around with this thing. But yeah, so that's it. This is the Hazard design by Steven Dunnick and Concept Knives. When this will come about, or other revisions, I will keep anybody and everybody updated on this. As far as I know, this is still in just prototyping phase, and you know, we'll see where this thing goes. But I think that a design like this could absolutely be implemented in other shapes or expanded upon, definitely, for, you know, different shape and whatever. But that's it. If you guys enjoyed this video, found it educational or entertaining by any means, go ahead and leave a like down below. If you are subscribed already, thank you so much. I appreciate all your support and your patience, of course. If you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing, because I have plenty more videos and content coming you guys' way. With that being said, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.